Now to absorb some local color through the magic of AM radio.
Harkens me back to my youthful, careful days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School and my gifted days.
And you're gifted, all right. What were you gifted at?
Well, I guess I had some issues.
Detention?
There. Yeah. When my dad told me I wouldn't plan on going to Harvard anytime real soon.
You're going to have to get in touch with me. We're gonna link all the volunteers via satellite cell phone so that we can put out the message immediately, because you remember the problem we had in January. We had to have Governor Walker come in with the National Guard. It was horrible.
Steve, listen to me. Bring your own microphone because you lost this one.
Okay, Captain Ron, you've been doing this so well for the last few weeks. So go ahead and make my day.
Oh, great one with the magic pen.
Oh, boy, he wants that microphone forever, doesn't he? Now, you got to visualize it. We put a statue of Pete on this. Put him in wearing like a hard hat and flannel shirt, tool belt, snow shovel.
You mean like from the Village People?
Yeah, yeah. A couple of...
Now, wait a minute here.
Good morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial, streaming across the balmy cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, Casey Family Options, and a host of other very fine local businesses. Joining us this morning after an exhausting St. Patrick's Day parade down 22nd Avenue last Saturday. As I always said, you cannot stop them. You can only hope to contain them. The big dog, little Stevie Casey, is here in our
Good morning, Mr. Barter. Good morning, Kenosha. I'm so excited to be here, and I've got so much to say.
Cobwebs have kind of cleared up in the last
Cobwebs have cleared up, coming off of a very successful weekend. I successfully orchestrated an illegal parade, absolutely.
Also joining us this morning, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Volunteer of the Year, Captain Ronnie Mothersbeck, joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
Good morning, Captain Ron.
Good morning, everyone.
And engineering the Kenosha Today train wreck this morning, playing a very integral part in last Saturday's parade, providing backup and some badly needed bail money, I might add. Pistol Pete Surgeon is here and in full control.
And by the way, when do I get repaid for that bail money? Anybody?
Who said anything about being repaid?
Now, there were no violations issued. We put that bail money towards a portion of the bar.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, your portion.
Not necessarily. We're a repeat offender, and so here's what happened when you got to 22nd. I told Pete, don't let Steve go down and do the talking. We better get up there. But no, here's what happens.
Oh, yes.
I knew this was going to happen.
Another successful St. Patrick's Day parade under my belt.
So then, I can share this with the folks because you were kind of...
keep it clean.
Don't worry.
You can't say ass on the radio. Can't say crap.
Yes. Okay. 4-ounce fillets.
We'll get to that, too.
We'll get to that, too. But at any rate, so being the dedicated partner that I am, and us being in mainstream media...
Well, a serious journalist.
Serious journalist, yeah. I went down to the safety building just to check you out on Monday afternoon, and I guess things weren't going real well for the big dog, and here's what they were playing down there. Crime wave Casey.
Now let's be serious about this. The parade was very successful. We'll talk about this, but there were no citations issued, no arrests made. We successfully maneuvered from my house down to the Sunnyside Club with
very quickly, I might add.
We took our time. It's a normal parade.
You know, the thing I was afraid the most about wasn't maybe getting the ticket for not having a permit, but you wearing those kilts and if the wind got underneath there and those legs that you were, oh man, that was not pretty.
You've seen better looking legs on a dining room table, huh?
For those who haven't heard, we are now here each and every Saturday morning from 10 to noon. Bringing
2 hours. Get a load of that. That's exciting.
2 solid hours of rock'em sock'em stuff. And you know what? We were talking last week. Some of us were a little under the weather, but that was actually because we have applied to be Secret Service agents. And last week was
we were in training. We were in training.
Phase 1 training.
Phase 1 training. Yeah, to be Secret Service, you apparently have to be able to hold your liquor and crash your car.
Yeah. Now we're not encouraging that type of behavior.
Absolutely
by all
not.
means. I mean, we don't do that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just so
because we didn't either last weekend.
All you snot-nosed little kids that are
any one of us
using us as role models,
based on what they've said as a criteria for Secret Service, any one of us could protect the president.
speaking of protection, I'm wearing my blue shirt and blue hat in support of all the Kenosha police department and the fire department and all those good folks in our community, the sheriff's department that put their lives on the line every day. And so,
absolutely. Can we say something serious about that real quick?
Go ahead.
I think in light of the investigation with this recent shooting in Kenosha, in 22 years, I've never had a problem with the police department, and I think it's our duty to continue to support them unless there's a reason for us not to. And I support the police department and the fire department and anybody who puts a uniform on.
We've got Summers Fire Department and the Pleasant Prairie, and even the Parkside, and then the sheriff deputies.
And while investigations need to be done when things like this happen, I think it's important that city government continue to support the police department.
They're there and sworn to protect and serve, and we're all for that.
Well, you'd think they'd find a little something better to do than write citations for illegal parades, but that's a whole other issue.
See what a week of sobriety does.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, Scott, Steve, Ron, and Pete.
Well, you got the order right.
Hi, Shirley. How are you? How was your brisket?
It all was delicious, really, with the cabbage and the carrots and the little potatoes. It was just delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to cook that right, though. It's salty, but corned beef is salty.
It is.
Just listening to that gives me
I like that with, do you put some horseradish sauce on your corned beef?
A little bit.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, yeah, you got to give it a little bite.
Now, I got a question for you. When you make a Reuben sandwich, what kind of dressing do you use?
Miracle Whip.
Well, really?
I use just regular Reuben.
Well, a lot of places will use Thousand Island dressing, but my wife uses the French dressing, and that's, to me, much more flavorful. Yeah, absolutely.
Shirley, we have a dedication song. Now, you probably won't admit it publicly, but you ought to, because you were there right shoulder to shoulder with us last week in the parade, leading the pack, by the way.
Yeah, right.
And you were begging. You didn't start on the street, but you were walking alongside, and here's what you were begging Stevie.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
We got you in the game.
Yeah.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
Shirley, is there
Ready to dance?
really anything wrong with 300 of your closest friends walking down the middle of the street on St. Patrick's Day, for heaven's sakes? Is that all that bad of a thing?
I don't think so. I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a great thing.
It's a great thing.
What I found interesting, he said 3 of our closest friends, 299 belonged to him, and I only had 1.
Listen, when an Irishman like Casey puts out the word to show up at his house for a parade, they'll show up.
And they did en masse.
En masse.
So, if the ticket comes, it comes, and we'll just have to play it.
I saw you guys on TV, and you look really good. You had your tie on, Steve.
Oh, what color was the tie?
Green.
Green
it was
tie?
from last week.
From last week. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you really look a lot thinner.
Oh, I thank you, Shirley.
Congratulations.
Been in the old rum gata or whatever, rum shot.
Well, I'm concentrating a little bit on keeping the weight off. Now, I haven't lost any more weight, but it's been, it was about 30 pounds altogether.
Yeah, I don't think you have to lose much more. You looked really good.
Oh my gosh, Shirley, if you were a little bit younger of a woman.
I think he's hitting on you.
I wish I was a little bit younger.
All right, so we got to run. So
Shirley, thank you for the call, and again, how you feeling? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep the faith.
Thanks a lot.
First thing I want to talk about, last Saturday after you left, we had one of our loyal callers, sounded like a loyal caller to me, and he had some constructive criticism to offer.
For me?
Well, he didn't mention you by name, but here's what happened. I had a guy email his description of the Kenosha Today Show. I'm just going to read the first part of it. After almost 19 years of doing this show, both on Channel 14 now here at WIP, I've come to the conclusion that this Kenosha Today Show is most often described as a glorious absence of sophistication and general lack of intelligence. So,
Ring the bell.
I said, listening to this show has absolutely nothing to do with money or social standing, and so the guy developed a scale to help our listeners determine if they need therapy or not. And so I read a couple of them. With just, because I was killing time.
Sure.
And so here's
because I had left, so you had to fill some space.
Oh, boy, did we.
More ways than one.
More ways than one, yeah.
Listen, that's a hell of a void.
So here's just a clip of this call.
With this 6-ounce lobster tail and 4-ounce fillet, I just got so tired of hearing about a fillet and a lobster, I turned you guys off. I like to listen to your show
Oh, boy.
to hear about the political atmosphere in Kenosha with a few laughs along the way, but I think you guys go overboard. I'll leave you and do what you want to do.
No, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me we've been known to beat a dead horse?
Oh, jeez.
You really? Well, speaking of
Bad choice of words.
as long as we're using the same old jokes every week, did you write the check?
Well, let me finish this.
Oh, I'm
price
sorry.
this
Okay,
up.
go ahead.
So I'm listening to that, and then that voice sounded familiar, and I told Ron, I says, I just hate it when my dad calls in and says things like that. So I guess I didn't have the heart to ask him if I'm still in his will either. But hey, there's more.
Well, you must.
Said you can do whatever you want. So.
You must be pretty busy. It's tax time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now you see, running a small business, I used to be the financial planner for our business, the funeral home, and I pay all the bills and take care of the taxes. And I guess I didn't understand that when I was supposed to be paying quarterly taxes, that did not mean one every 4 years.
This kind of goes well with your attendance at council meetings.
Exactly.
Good meeting.
So now my wife handles all those things, and we're much more profitable and much more successful.
Well, if there's any jail time involved, let her go then.
Well, I am.
My guarantee is. Should I tell him, Ron? That's not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
My guarantee is, if one of my clients goes to jail, the first conjugal visit's on the house. That's a freebie. That doesn't cost him anything.
It always goes dark.
Yeah.
He always walks
a-
down the right path.
I thought it was
the
in
wrong
a trailer. It's on the house.
That's my office. Yeah. Hey, there's more good news, boys and girls, tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday. You can tune in here at WIP AM 1050 and listen to the replay of the show. And then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced show with the disclaimers on Time Warner Cable's Channel 14, Tuesdays at 5 p.m., Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and Sundays at 6 p.m.
I'm starting to get royalty checks from Digity Media because of the replays and because of the TV airings. Are you getting the same thing or no?
No, I've, of course, when you can pronounce the name of the place, Digity. And for some reason, I keep going back to Dippity-Doo.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm not getting the real royalty.
Well, yeah, the royalty checks are coming in now, and it's great to be an employee of Digity.
Oh, yeah, they're real proud of you, too.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Go ahead.
It ought to be illegal to have this much fun on a Saturday.
Well, don't push the envelope.
It ought to be
we
illegal.
haven't paid the last fine yet.
Yeah. All seriousness aside, who has more fun on a Saturday morning than
That's
us?
exactly where we put the seriousness aside. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hey, good morning, Scott and Steve. It's Scott from Kenosha. How are you?
Very good.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
What's
I'm
up?
good, Steve. Listen, I just called Steve to echo your sentiments for the support for our police department. Having been that guy who has walked that walk for 6 years, many years ago as a law enforcement member, I am so impressed with the support that the city has put forward and the citizens, that there was no knee-jerk reactions when this happened. And I don't think the public realizes the odds of an officer using deadly force in his career are astronomically high. And for the odds for an officer to have to use deadly force twice in a month, I think the odds are better to win Powerball. It's just an incredible...
You mean astronomically low to have to use...
Yeah, I mean astronomically low, high that it will never happen.
Yeah,
It's incredible that had happened, and you're right. The investigations will show everything in the end, and the city has stepped out of the investigation. A neutral party has come in.
I think that's good.
I think that's great.
After Chief Morrissey took the reins there, it was some years ago, I went on a police ride-along, and we had our version of cops with the cameras rolling and going to the first shift. We were on about the second shift in the not-so-good part of town. But I got to tell you, I'm just there as an observer. And the adrenaline, when the lights are going and the sirens, you have no idea until you actually get in a squad car and you're going down there at 60 miles an hour. So.
Until you have lived that, even in a ride-along, but when you lived it in your life, I mean, the whole object is, you're right, it's to protect and serve, but it's to come home alive at the end of the night, to spend time with your family. And another stat that people don't realize, the average life expectancy of a police officer who retires after 25 years is 7 years, regardless of age.
Yeah, and you know why that is? Because your body can't adjust to the downtime.
Right. Oh, all the stress that you've dealt with for 25 years. You are always on edge. You are always alert. You are always looking left and right, front and back at all times. And it is a very tough profession. It's a very noble profession. And I just can't support, the police department and the officer involved enough. And, I really kudos to the city for responding.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. And serving 22 years on the city. Did I mention I was an alderman for 22 years?
I think you have a couple of times today, Steve. Yes, I think you have.
Beating the dead horse.
As a former alderman, I did my best to support and to make sure the police department got all the resources they needed. In fact, I'm pretty sure you were not in the council the year that John Morrissey was appointed police chief of police.
My time.
Yeah, and I actually, at the budget meeting, actually made a motion to put money into the budget for a white horse, because John Morrissey to me was like the Lone Ranger, the way he handles things.
I'll tell you, and in my view on John Morrissey, our city is so lucky to have a gentleman like John in charge of this department.
Well, he needs a white horse. He needs a white horse
from the ranks of patrolman to chief, not going outside to find when it was time to make a replacement, and having sat down numerous times with John just as a casual cup of coffee. I mean, to listen to his words and the way he feels about things, it's just incredible that he.
Well, a good local guy, Scott.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he speaks from his heart, but he follows the law. He's a no nonsense guy. But, he does so much good in the community with the Boys Club and other things that, when indeed John decides to hang up the hat and put the belt away for the last time, this city's going to have some very, very, very big shoes to fill.
This community has gone that route in the past years where they took someone from outside to be the chief of police and the fire chief, and none of those two situations ever worked out. So I'm glad that we took our from within. I mean,
well, I came on in 1988, and many people will remember this name, Joe Trotta. Oh, yeah. Joe Trotta was police chief at that time, and boy, he was a chief.
Yep, and it's you're a boss, but you're also somebody that a rookie patrolman can come up to for advice. I mean, there's so many pieces to the puzzle of that, and the public aspect of it, to listen to the public. I mean, and John fits every one of those. It's amazing.
Well, and when they Scott, when they cited me a few years ago for that illegal parade, they could have handcuffed me.
They should have.
They could have used green handcuffs for all we know that day.
Exactly.
Before, when Steve made mention of getting the chief a white horse, this is what we're talking about: serious journalism and mainstream media. So
exactly,
take it serious.
Absolutely.
All right, Scott.
Hey,
thank
guys,
you very much.
Have a great rest of the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, Alderman Gordon.
Let me read a couple quick sponsors.
Goes dark side every chance he gets.
As soon as he can, right?
We don't want to hear this trash talking.
You said it.
We just want to keep it clean.
Speaking of trash talking, how about the Parks Commission and going on with this Southport Beach House replacement? I can't believe this thing that they want to spend $200,000 on slate just for half of the thing. But we offered our Kenosha Today. We went and we have our own Kenosha Today maintenance man, and I think it's $39.99. And here's what we offer to do with foam, right, Pete?
With foam.
With
and
foam.
so I'm going to get up there, and we're actually going to start the repair process today.
Yeah.
This is breaking news.
Yes.
Just coming across the wire. I just have to watch the instructional video.
Yeah.
And today I'm going to show you how to use a two-part spray foam insulation package.
Good. All right, I'm learning. I'll check back.
And but when we get done, we could probably start after the show and be done by the 4 o'clock.
I plan on having it
conference.
done by noon.
Well, I get it.
I'm going to leave a little bit early. Ron, you can run this, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
yeah,
got to
good.
tell
We'll
you,
be all
I
right.
told you what the answer to the problem is.
We got it.
The people that's in the Southport neighborhood didn't want the dog run, so they gave it to Keith Rosenberg, and Dan Przansky jumped on that. Make a resolution to move the Southport Beach House to Anderson Park, for heaven's
Put
sakes.
it on wheels.
Give it to Rosenberg. He'll take advantage.
You know
of
what
it.
I suggest?
He'll probably fix the roof himself
on the way.
on the way.
I think they should do just like we've leased out to Simmons Field and other parts of the small boat harbor. Let this group form their own nonprofit organization, lease out, and they can do whatever they want with
Well,
it.
you know what?
Don't use my money.
Seriously, I brought that up, I think, 10 or 15 years ago with all of the beach houses. That's when the beach houses were sitting empty, the Simmons Island and Southport, nothing was being done. And I brought up maybe a restaurant down on Simmons Island, and there was an issue, and I didn't get verification on this, but there was a DNR issue. regarding the use of the beach house for other than city purposes because it's on lake bed. There's something to do with it being on lake bed where it can't be a for-profit thing. There was some issue that was brought up which kind of stifled the whole thing.
Well, the issue was this gal who wanted to do this, and I saw the plans. That was just somebody blowing smoke. It wasn't the city's idea.
You're talking about Simmons Island one?
Yeah. And that
I know who you're talking about, but that's not what I was talking about.
Okay.
But and Anthony Kennedy brought that up this week. Maybe turn over the Southport Beach House to a private entity to manage it and to utilize it and things like that.
Lease it out, just like we do Simmons Field to the Kingfish.
That was my interview for the record. So,
what I'm going to do is, if they don't, I'm going to bid myself.
Well,
I'm going to bid my own. Wait a minute. I'm going to bid my own Kenosha Today Beach House group, and you know who I'm going to have run it?
Who's that?
Wanda Lynn Bello.
Oh,
perfect, don't you think? Former alderman.
Yeah.
Get her back to town. You don't seem real warm to that idea.
No. I got along. I got along great with Wanda Lynn Bello. Those were the good old days.
Colorful times, right?
Kelly Moravec, Wanda Lynn Bello, Todd Santoro. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm about to head up to the roof here.
Okay.
Because I think after the break we're going to have to get the spraying of the foam started. We want to act on this quickly.
All right.
So, Ron, if you want to make sure you're in place here to hit the break, you guys keep talking, and I'm just going to head up there now.
I'll keep talking if you don't mind.
Talking.
Hey, you never answered me a question. Are we taking a break, or you never answered my question? Did you write the check?
Oh yeah, I wrote the check. We're still here. I got to write it again next week. And so now Pete's bringing this up. Ron's the painter, professional painter, and now we have to play the wind a little bit. Otherwise, things could get a little messy down there. And we have a special, since we're doing this for a special low cost of $39.95, we're encouraging the city to keep it's what kind of receipt, Ron?
Out of sight guarantee.
It's out of sight guarantee. Once we're out of sight, you're on your own.
All right, guys, I'm up on the roof.
Okay, Pete.
I'm going to start spraying now.
Okay.
Ron, at the power. Here we go.
Okay.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Looking good.
Oh,
all right, got one more quarter.
This one, see, we're half done. $39.95 is a long way from $200,000. See?
All right, it's done. We're good to go.
We're good to
I
go.
got to tell you, Pete, that's not your best bit.
Really?
Oh,
come on. It's killed in the production meeting.
Yeah.
I want to
speaking of which, you're
Still spray.
you're gonna love this, Pete.
Yes,
Captain Ron, you're gonna love this. So it's about 6:30 last night. I'm waiting for my wife to bring home something.
It was
cook on the
earlier
grill.
than that.
No, it wasn't earlier than that. It's about 6:30. I had just finished. I got a 10-yard dumpster put in my driveway. We're cleaning out our garage. We built a new garage. We're tearing down the old one. So I'm throwing stuff into the dumpster, and I figure I'll sit down and take a break on my deck. And I figure, well, I never talked to Scott this week as to whether or not I'm coming tomorrow. So he always likes to know, and he yells at me because he doesn't, because I'm the prima donna that comes in at the last minute sometimes, and so I called up and I said he didn't pick up at first. Didn't pick up. About 5 minutes later, he calls back. Hello. I said, Scott, are you okay? What do you mean? I said, "Well, have you been drinking?" What does that mean?
I was taking my
6:30 on a Friday night. I'm working loading the dumpster, and this guy's at home half in a bag. I assume you were half in a bag at home, right?
I was taking my final to be a Secret Service agent. That was my final phase 1 test.
Yeah. I'm beginning to think, next week. How's it coming up there, Pete? I'm beginning to think next Saturday maybe we'll do an on-air intervention.
Is that going to help, you think?
Well, it couldn't hurt.
I want to thank another sponsor.
What are the peanut butter ones with the chocolate?
No, why isn't it here?
Well, they're in the cookie jar at the planning center.
Well, that doesn't help us.
Yeah, I know. They'll be gone by the time I get back.
Before we go to break, I got this letter, because I'm a member in good standing at the Moose Club, and they're mighty proud of me. No, it's serious. Member benefit, and
I just made 2 of my employees members of the Moose Club.
Oh, did you? Are you a member?
No, not yet. I'll probably become a member. Yeah.
You want me to sponsor you?
Oh yeah, sponsored by Scott Barter.
Well, this is.
I'll be blackballed from everybody.
Get off on the right foot. Yeah, the wrong one too.
Well, anyway, they had this thing. If you're a member of the Moose, that you can sign up and sign up for this identity theft protection. So I did.
Well, who in the hell would want to become Scott Barter?
Well, this is what I get back. I applied. It says, "Dear Mr. Barter, thank you for your application for LifeLock standard identity theft protection. After careful review and submitting all your personal information, it has been determined that no one is interested in stealing anything remotely close to your identity. We suggest that you either change your life or get one. Sincerely, Maurice Casey, President Members Benefits." So I guess that says it all.
I was going to say, if I had to steal an identity, I'd probably either Pete or Captain Ron.
Well, I got one or two minor issues, and once you get past that, I mean,
that somebody stole his identity and gave it back.
Oh,
I was Scott Barter for 12 hours, but you know what? It got old. You can have it back.
Oh, if you were me, you couldn't handle the traffic over at Barter Manor. You couldn't. Let's take a break and we'll get back.
Is this Steve? This is Scott. How are you?
It was not that.
I said, I'm fine, Scott. Have you been drinking? What do you mean? That's exactly.
Now,
listen, next time I'm going to record a conversation, just like all the aldermen
what if my grandkids
are recording our conversation.
Yeah. And by the way, at 11 o'clock, we take the.
I was stone sober at 6:30 last night. I was getting ready to make dinner. Steve? Is this Steve Casey?
Okay.
Yeah, it's Steve Casey. Scott, are you okay? What do you mean?
Hey, what if my grandkids are listening to this? What kind of role model you think?
Well, what, they don't know who you are?
Well, I'm not some lush. Oh, no. Let's take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute. Tuned in, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your dial. Brought to you by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, KC Family Options, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. If you just joined us, spreading his warm and fuzzy feelings as only he can do, the new Brian Williams of mainstream media, the big dog, little Stevie Casey, blesses our presence this morning.
Steve, is that you? Yes, Scott, it's me. You should have, Pete. You should have heard the conversation.
You said
every
it,
Friday night.
I said it once. I mean, do you have to keep going back to that?
Yeah. Well, the joke. I just keep driving it into the ground.
I mean, just don't bring up the thing about the ass and the and the 6-ounce lobster tails anymore.
I'm not bringing up any of that stuff. Okay, I'm done with it.
Also, yeah,
done with it. It's time for something new.
In our Kenosha Today trolley barn, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Volunteer of the Year, Captain Ronnie Muttersbuck is here.
Good morning, Captain Ron.
Hey, and engineering the Kenosha Today train wreck, 6-time WLIP Employee of the Month, and the Kenosha Today roof consultant for the Southport Beach House, Pistol Pete Surgeon, is here and in full control.
Now, Pete, I got a question for you.
Radio. God, that's going to break down a lot of walls.
You're not supposed to say God on the radio.
Why the hell not?
You're not supposed to say hell either.
This is going to be a barren source of amusement.
The promise we make to you.
Now,
Yes,
I got a
Stevie.
question for you. Are you trying to grow a beard, or are you just forgetting to shave?
I've had a beard for months.
Yeah, where you been?
That's a beard?
Well, I trimmed it this week.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Okay. You haven't had a full beard, have you?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna let it get down to.
Well,
chest
you
level,
have to
no.
understand. I'm looking at you between two computer screens.
I see that,
and I can see just a portion of you at one time. I can't hardly make eye contact with you.
Yeah,
which is more than enough, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the same effect over here.
Last Saturday morning, he couldn't see you at all.
I couldn't. Well, I
No,
couldn't see
he
him.
couldn't see
I came around about
I'm
11:30.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I got a good. I got some work done yesterday afternoon, and my wife brought home tuna steak. And apparently forgot it was Friday, so I probably shouldn't tell you this, good Catholic. She brought me home a ribeye steak. Have you ever made tuna steak on the grill? You know, tuna steak you can cook like regular beef. You can have it rare, medium rare.
You're asking me
and
about
I
my
just
cooking
made it.
abilities?
I just made it fabulous for it. It was just turned out nice and
What's with the big
medium
dumpster?
rare.
What's with the big dumpster?
I got we had at one point two garages, a small garage and then a 2-car garage in our backyard. We tore down the 1-car garage. We built a new garage. And now we have to tear down the 2-car garage. So of all of the things, you know how I accumulate crap. About once every 2 years. Can I say crap on the radio?
I just played the thing for you. I got to play it again.
About once every 2 years we get a dumpster and we fill it up and then they come and it's a good investment because you accumulate all this stuff.
So is this your wife's spring project that you've assigned to her, like you did last summer, cutting the yard and brushing?
No.
Doing the
Well, no, I've lost. I lost my. I'm losing my yard.
Train of thought.
My yard maintenance guy, Thomas. I'm sure won't be cutting the grass this year, so I'll be doing that.
Okay.
You know, he's.
I want to see pictures of that.
Well, he's 17 and he's got a job at Trolley Dogs, and come this summer he's going to spend 2 weeks in Europe with the Golden Strings. So, It's back to cutting the grass. I had about a 10-year hiatus.
Yeah,
how much am I paying? Yeah.
Cash wages.
Oh, I paid them well to cut the grass.
Those,
although, you got to tell it. You got to tell you, the kids never cut the grass the way the parents would. They just don't.
Well, did you cut the grass the way your dad wanted you?
No, probably not, because he was always criticizing me. You know how
Is this the same guy that was going to charge you $5,000
That's exactly
a week
right.
for rent?
That's exactly right.
For those who might have missed
recording this conversation to catch us saying anything.
We were talking about
anything we shouldn't say.
A variety of topics this morning.
The beach house, the dog run.
Give us a call, 262-694-1050. You know, this article was in the paper about the Keno Drive-In, and that corner on that parcel on is owned by Steve Mills. And this is the last year that he can actually get any movies to play on this.
Why is that?
Screen. They don't make them anymore on a big screen, outdoor screen.
Okay.
And so he said, well, I can keep it open this year, but that's prime real estate. So his decision is to either, this article suggested maybe a mini Walmart go in there or build housing. And
there was one article that said it was a super center.
Okay, so
yeah.
But even so, it's a business decision. If I own this lot and I couldn't make any money on this drive-in, I'm sorry, times change, you got to move on.
I don't think Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he managed and ran the theater. He just owned the property.
But the problem is he can't get the movies.
The company that operates the theater. And do you remember the other drive-in theater that we had in Kenosha for many years?
It was on the north.
The Mid-City.
It was up on Sheridan Road, right?
Exactly, yep. I'll never forget. I got a story about the Mid-City. You want to hear about it?
Were you in the back seat? Or?
No, I was in the front seat. I was in the front seat.
She was in the back seat.
Don Thomas was in the back seat. We had picked up, I had convinced my father to let me take his brand new 1977 Chevy Caprice.
Yeah, your date's in the back seat going.
This is a good story. This is a good story.
We're going to embellish it too.
And we had picked up along the way to drink in the car with velour seats, by the way. That was huge back then when velour seats first came out. Velour, And we stopped and picked up cold duck.
Champagne?
And it was champagne, yeah. So we're drinking cold duck in the front seat and in the back seat, of course. I don't know how old we were. I'm sure we were of legal drinking age.
Uh-huh.
And and the movie that we were seeing at the Mid-City was the one where it was either Friday the 13th or one of the Halloween movies where at the end the guy comes up out of the lake into the canoe. What was that one? Was that Friday the 13th?
Anyway, when are you going to get
one
to
of
the humorous part?
Anyways, at that end, the Jason, that's right.
Yeah.
Jason comes up out of the lake onto the canoe, pulls the woman in, and we're all holding these styrofoam cups of cold duck, and absolutely went nuts and spilled and threw cold duck everywhere because it scared us so much. I had cold duck on the ceiling, and at the time it was a cloth ceiling, and the velour seats. I thought I was going to be kicked out of the house that very weekend.
Who drinks cold duck out of a
this was
styrofoam cup?
1978.
Yeah, but still, don't you have...
In
no wonder the girl was in the
1978, we would drink anything out of a styrofoam cup.
Why so serious? So raise your glass if you are wrong in all the right ways on the underdog.
Now here's the next
back seat.
When you see the smoke coming out of Pete's ears, like he's got a thought. He's got a thought.
Now ask me if I remember the girls' names.
It was just you and
Don, my best buddy Don Thomas was in the back seat. I was in the front seat.
Okay, but don't get anybody in trouble.
No, I was sitting next to Becky.
Okay.
And in the back seat, sitting next to Don was her first name was Lynn.
Okay. You remember all that?
Absolutely.
It's one of the wild things.
Absolutely.
Well,
this is almost. I got to tell you, coming here on a Saturday morning is almost therapeutic for me.
Yeah, how's that?
Well, I don't have to expound on that. That's just a statement.
Okay. If you got a question or a comment about anything that's going on, give us a call, 262-694-1050.
Let's talk some more about the trolley.
Oh, you know what? I have an article that my good friend Mike Bjorn gave.
It's so easy to steer him. He's like a puppy.
Well,
he's like a little puppy.
Hey, I am prepared.
Here's a bone. Oh, let's go this way. Okay,
yes,
okay.
It's serious journalism. It's called being prepared. Look, I even got this here.
It's so easy to get him on and off track. Like a trolley.
This was in Wednesday's New York Times. Huge article.
New York Times
on a variety of trolleys. Streetcar revival is wavering in some cities, and how, like in Detroit, they spent $160 million to bring the trolley back. and some other communities across the country. But here's the thing that this New York Times referred to the Kenosha. It says that there have been some blunders. This includes building short lines that don't go anywhere, infrequent service, excessive and widely varying cost per mile from $5.1 million in Kenosha, Wisconsin, to $67 million in Washington.
Now, do you get? I just a question for you. Do you get the New York Times?
No, Mike Bjorn does, and he brought that into me. And
I'm gonna have to read this.
Not now. You don't have to read it. We don't have the time because we're hanging on your every word.
Pete, can we just go to commercial break for about 7 minutes and?
Oh, hang on. We'll just play this for 7 minutes.
Yeah, there we go.
But I thought it was interesting. There have been some blunders. So we made the New York Times, Kenosha, but not necessarily in the right light. But
well,
and of course we've been talking about.
Did they in that article? Did they mention the Kenosha Today radio version show?
That's kind of on the back page here. It's some. It must be in the.
That's the police blotter, completely unrelated to.
Make your announcement about the anniversary show.
Oh yes, we're going to have our 19th anniversary show. We're going to do it. We're going to do our normal Saturday show, but we're going to have on Wednesday, April 6th, from 6 to 7. We're going to do it live. We've got some old clips
on TV.
On TV. Yeah. In fact, we have some of.
Do I have to be there?
You want to be? We got some clips of you and I doing the Gluegate thing some years ago.
Oh, jeez. Gluegate thing. That did go on for years, by the way.
Well, we were the ones that actually the first ones that ever showed it.
Well, don't you remember my favorite appearance on your version, the TV version, was when I showed up with the Fabulous Five jelly beans,
and they called you,
and the Jelly Belly called me. Their attorney sent me a letter stating that, of course, I showed up and I claimed that the Fabulous Five jelly beans were named after the clowns down at City Hall, the Fabulous Five, and Jelly Belly sent me an email to the funeral home telling me to cease and desist. Don't use the Fabulous Five in any of your.
So why are you bringing up now?
Oh, it's hysterical that these guys would get so bent out of shape to call Jelly Belly because you can buy the Fabulous Five jelly beans, and we did a whole bit about that. Don't you remember that?
Yeah, we did. But we're going to hear from.
That was
we heard
very
from
funny.
Once. April 8th. I'm sorry. If we heard from him once, we're going to hear from him
is that
again.
a Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, well, that's the day after Election Day then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it'll be live at 6 to 7 and then replayed at 6 on Sunday.
Hey, I'm pretty sure this is the good folks at the Jelly Bean Place telling
Oh, boy, here we go.
C&D here.
Maybe I should say good morning. You're on Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty.
Well, Stevie's
Can you
going
say
off
that on the radio.
yeah. Well, yeah, my boy here's
You're not
going off on another tangent.
Do you work for the legal department of Jelly Belly, sir?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, then we're okay.
Okay, then go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, how are you guys doing this morning? Obviously, you're having a good time.
We are looking for somebody to take over the Kenosha Today replacement of the roof at the Southport Beach House. Is that something you are qualified to do?
Yeah, you want me up on a roof.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
I was just going to say, you know what? Paul and I will both climb up on that roof.
How's your spray foam technique?
Yeah.
You know what you do?
Yes. We could. How much does it cost to get a net? We'd get to net.
You know what? Probably less than 200,000. I'm thinking.
Hey, now Paul, you're a pretty politically astute fella. You pay attention to things locally.
Hanging on our
I want
every
to
word.
generate a thought-provoking question.
Provoking.
What do you?
Easy now.
What do you feel is between now and the next aldermanic election, which is the spring of 2016? What do you think is going to be the top two political issues facing any aldermanic and any mayoral candidates?
What the candidates are going to bring up, or what the actual ones are?
Give us the actual.
Well, give us
What
the
you
actual.
think?
Yeah.
Well, it should be our infrastructure and our roads and everything, and the police protection.
Go ahead.
Those are two very good hot button issues.
But what they're going to bring up is the trolley to nowhere and the roofs and the heritage house and stuff like that. Stuff that people feel passionate about.
Well, that's what wins elections, right?
Right.
People don't necessarily vote knowing the facts. They just vote on.
Well, Paul, you were
Single issue, yeah.
Paul, you're a little bit younger than me, right? I'm 50.
Oh no, I'm older than you.
Are you really?
I'm much older than you. Yeah.
This is not happy birthday.
You're what?
Camp Happy Face.
57.
Okay, I'm 54. Okay, well, do you remember back in 1988? Do you remember the first big election? Now I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit, but don't you remember the Medigen thing? the
Yeah,
Medigen
sure.
thing. And in 1990, there were 9 candidates that had opposition, and the opposition back in 1990 was just about the Medigen because City Council approved this Medigen coming into the the incineration plant of medical
Right
waste.
out there on 52nd.
And
yeah.
2 aldermen survived that onslaught in 1990. And Chuck Bradley was one of them, and I was the other one, and we both took about 70% of the vote. But that was a single-issue campaign. Single-issue campaign. And I very much dislike single-issue campaigns because it doesn't give you a good overall feel for the candidate.
Well, I think this trolley is going to be could be ending up a single-issue campaign.
I don't think so. I don't think the trolley has legs enough to.
They got 6,000 people that said they wanted to go to a referendum, and
But I keep telling everybody you could crucify Christ again with a referendum, or with a petition. You really could. I mean, you could get anybody
only about
to
a third
sign.
of those people will vote.
That's exactly right, Paul. You could get anybody to sign a petition for anything that you want. I've signed petitions. I don't even know what I signed sometimes. Now I got to be a little more cautious about that once I became an alderman because I didn't want my name attached to issues that weren't politically sound.
The prime example is the recall. They had how many signatures to get the Walker recall petition in there? They got it on the ballot, and
I think
Walker survived it. So
did they have
it doesn't
more?
exactly equate.
Oh, that's a good question, Pete. Did they have more signatures to recall him than actually voted against him?
That is a good question, actually.
You guys want to know a sad fact?
Sure.
I heard that there'll be more people filling out March Madness brackets than will vote for the president the next time.
Well, you're probably right.
You know what? If they put the primaries up
what?
in a bracket, people would vote.
Paul, I was always one of these guys, everybody says, get out the vote. Generate, everybody should get out the vote. You know what? If you don't follow politics and you don't know what the hell's going on, stay home.
We don't want them voting.
We don't want them voting.
Well, that brings up my question. What's worse, not voting at all or going to vote for somebody that you have no idea what they
and the
have?
other thing, Paul, that always bothered me was you're absolutely right, Scott. What's worse? But, Paul, the other thing that always bothered me is people who vote because of a certain allegiance. A political group tells you to vote this way, so you do it. You don't have any good basis for that. Vote the candidate.
If there's an R or a D, that's all they care about.
That's exactly right.
So you don't think putting this studio where we operate every Saturday up as an incinerator would be a good idea?
I think it should be a historic.
Is this on?
Some kind of historic site, yeah.
A historic site. All we got to do is foam these windows or foam the ceiling, Pete, and
well, you already can't open up the weather window, can you?
I'm sorry, I'm still up on the roof.
I didn't know.
No, they had the when I was here making
this was
Heaven on a
before.
Bun. Heaven on a Bun.
It's since been sealed.
Okay, Lenny Palmer opened the window and I passed in a cheeseburger to him.
Well, one time Lenny there was a bug in here and Lenny kind of freaked out, and so now we're not allowed to do the.
Hey, Paul, you're a sports guy. I got to ask you. My good friend John Schwartz and Todd Nelson won.
John, I just talked to John for about an hour and a half the other night.
They won this Boys and Girls Club pickleball tourney. Did you see this?
Hey, I got the picture of it on my timeline.
I'm
on
looking
Facebook.
right at it, and I hadn't heard about pickleball, and I sent him an email. He's a finely tuned athlete.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball is kind of a combination between. I thought you were serious journalism. You don't even know
Tennis, badminton.
Yeah.
I thought it was when two guys are throwing the ball back and forth and one guy's running between them. Isn't that called pickle?
Oh God.
That's baseball.
That's more. Yeah, that's a pickle. That's he's.
Yeah, you're in a pickle.
Yeah. He's back to his.
Well, haven't you ever played pickle? You got two guys and you got two bases, and a guy tries to steal a base, and
but
you throw the ball back and forth.
I'm to my good friend John Schwartz and Todd Nelson. I'm mighty proud of these guys for winning.
Mighty?
Why doesn't John ever call your show? What did you do to him?
I think when I sent him an email, I says, "Were you in the women's division, or was it just the skirt?"
You offended him.
Was the skirt you were wearing just part of the natural uniform?
John's a very sensitive man, you know.
Oh, now you tell me.
Well, people don't realize it, Paul, but I'm very sensitive too.
Yeah, you guys.
Well, yeah, but you hide it well. You have broad shoulders,
which goes all the way down. You guys could be a pickleball tournament team.
No. Paul and I years ago. Well, Paul and I don't know if I'm saying something I shouldn't say. Paul and I were actually tried out for the two-man luge.
Oh God, sweet. That's not pretty. That is just.
All right, I'll be the one. How'd that work out for you?
Visions of sugar plums dance in my head.
We couldn't decide who was going to be the guy laying between the other guy's legs. A two-man luge. Paul Vangoni and Steve Casey.
Who's your
two-man
pick?
luge.
Who's your pick for the Final Four?
I had one of them's out already, Iowa State, but I got Villanova, Wisconsin, and Kentucky.
Oh, geez, you went right with the top seeds.
With the chalk, yeah.
No upsets.
And the one in the third seed I picked got knocked out in their first game. So
now, when does the Badgers play again?
Tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night at 6:45, I think.
Yeah, against.
That's tonight for our Sunday listeners.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
tonight.
very good.
No.
Well, you got to make sure that the people are listening at different times.
Yeah, but today's Saturday.
But
when the show airs on Sunday, it will be tonight.
But we won't be here,
Paul,
on Sunday.
But we'll still be on the air though.
He was on the luge without his helmet. Can you tell?
This is so confusing. When the hell do the Badgers play? Tonight or tomorrow night?
Sunday night at 6:45.
Okay, so that would be right now as we're speaking live. That will be on Sunday night.
Except for
no matter what time you hear it, it's still going to be Sunday night.
Right.
Except for
if you're watching it on YouTube 3 years from now, you missed it.
You missed it.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Paul, do you think you and I could still climb on a luge?
I'm not getting in between anybody's legs on a luge, or any man's legs.
Can you imagine that two-man luge, Paul?
And you
Paul
see the
and
suits
Steve?
those guys wear?
Oh yeah, guys like you and I are not allowed to wear spandex.
No, there's not enough spandex. In
No,
this world.
there's really not. And I was so happy when that phase of the bikini swimsuits went out, and now they're just the shorts are the baggy shorts.
Yeah.
What
Surfer shorts.
Don't you remember back in the 70s, everybody used to wear
Speedos.
bikini Speedos? That's the name.
we have a law in this town. You can't wear the
Right.
Speedo.
Well, I used to wear a thong on the beach, but you couldn't.
Oh, jeez.
But you couldn't see it.
No tan lines there.
Oh man, I'm glad I had breakfast already.
Look at Pete. He's got something there, Pete?
I don't know if I'm going to find some time.
Anyway, I got to read a couple more commercials.
Okay.
Hey, keep the faith, my friend.
We'll keep
I
you.
shall.
We'll keep you in mind for our project at the Southport Beach House.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
I got to read
Bye-bye.
this.
Say 9:57.
Because we never changed it for daylight saving time.
Well, what the hell's the matter with you?
I was out of town. So it's not my fault.
Is this
I wasn't
confusing?
there.
Who's responsible for that? The cleaning lady?
I know that the
It says
cleaning-
9:57.
It's clean, so here, Ron will just take care of it for you.
There you go.
He's a good guy like that. I was going to put it in front of Scott, really mess him up, but
Oh man,
then I
can't-
forgot.
I'm
so
trying to stay focused here.
Well, I don't know how to do this.
you just hit the buttons until it works properly. Oh, it's
Anyway,
stellar
we're
I'm
radio.
going to let the
Boy,
computer guy, Captain Ron, do it.
Hey, this is coming up this Saturday, that would be today, is the orchestra festival, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of. I'll be there this evening. I have to be careful what I say about Orchestra Fest.
Why?
Well, I've got 3 kids that have played string instruments, but we can talk about it after the break. Or do we have to go to break? Or we got time.
Well, we got
we got
a minute.
to hit
Okay.
the news.
Okay.
What is this?
Well, I've
secret?
got I played the trumpet all through high school and I was in a marching band at Stevens Point, even my first semester up there, before I had academic differences with the faculty. but so I always wanted one of my kids to play a brass instrument. To march in the band. I'd chaperone the band on their parades and that. All 3 of them chose to go the other direction, and they all played string instruments: cello, viola, and violin.
Good move, Pete.
But we'll talk about
Good
Orchestra
move.
Fest after the 11 o'clock
Very good move.
news.
We'll be back in 4 minutes. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Being brought to you by the Boathouse
I'm
Pub and
sorry.
Eatery.
You're keeping me up.
You're not sorry. KC Family Options and a host of many other very fine local businesses. If you just tuned in, you just heard that yawn. That's the big dog, little Stevie Casey.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Reporting on local stories, state stories spanning the globe.
I'm a serious journalist.
Journalism, yeah.
Wait a minute. On the count of 3.
Oh, yeah, I got to change.
Push record.
Record for those
3,
that are recording this.
2, 1, record.
There you go.
There we go. We know we are being recorded by certain aldermen, which is always a good thing.
Wait a minute. I lost my...
He had,
Well,
he had 5 minutes.
Yeah, good thing we signed up
to
for the second hour.
organize. Yeah.
Do you only organize for the first hour and then
No, I
you
had
just
to-
wing it in the
He
second
doesn't even
hour?
take his headphones off. He's so engulfed in his thoughts.
Hey,
and now he can't find the thing.
I want to generate some phone calls. I want to hear what's on your mind for next spring's election. What are the issues facing the taxpayers? We took one caller. He said it was infrastructure and police protection, police law enforcement. So I want to hear what some of the other issues are.
Make the announcement. Pete, fix the clock.
I fixed the clock, but it says 11 p.m. instead of a.m.
Gotta hold the button down.
So it's still not correct. But
well, at least it says 11:08 and not 10:08.
I'm at a loss to where the top. Oh no, where's the top 10?
Oh darn,
we're without the top.
That's
10.
America's favorite segment.
No, it's not in there.
Now they're both looking. Somebody got to carry some ground. Grab the mic.
All right, I'm gonna leave on a high note. I'm out of here.
So take a phone call while you're doing this. Okay.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Morning.
Morning. What's up?
Not much. You're on this Kenosha stuff. I think it's the condition of our neighborhoods really tells the story.
Oh, I hear you there.
And the snow's gone now, and if you take a ride, it shows already. So I think starting with the aldermen, if the citizens don't give a damn, maybe the aldermen's got to, and we've got to have a little bit more neighborhood initiatives. The guy out by the interstate's got to remember it's just not Whitecaps, and the guy downtown's got to remember it's just not downtown. There's a lot between those two pieces of bread.
Well, historically, this has always been the toughest time of year because you're absolutely right. And your first name, sir, is?
Bruce.
Bruce?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Bruce, historically, this is always the dirtiest time of the year. The snow is gone. They haven't got the street sweepers out there. But I got to tell you, I drive up and down 22nd Avenue sometimes 6 times a day. The uptown and the garbage in the bump outs and in the curb line and even garbage in corners in front of the stores and that are just overwhelming. It looks terrible.
Right, and I know some of it's the result of the time of the year, but having said that, then it's the time of the year to get up your butt and pick it up.
Yeah, Bruce, I used to, early on in my my career as an alderman, I used to drive around with my wife in the van with me, and we would drive up and down all of the alleys because, of course, I represented older neighborhoods, and those were ones with alleys. And I would put in my request about this time of year for grading and graveling because, as you know, in the older neighborhoods, those alleys are in atrocious shape. And I would tell her, mark down this alley, between 22nd Avenue, 23rd Avenue, between 60th and 61st, whatever the case is. And I would submit anywhere between 10 and 15 different alleys to be graded and graveled. And then I'd also drive around and point out areas where people are not taking care of their garbage. But you're absolutely right. I think the conditions of the neighborhoods, and not the newer neighborhoods, I'm talking about the older neighborhoods where there's a high degree of rental property. I think that's a number one issue that should be addressed.
Sure, it definitely stands out. And getting back to those alleys, I remember when they just weren't for garbage pickup, we used to play horseshoes there. Heck, maintaining the alley, my uncle raked it.
All right, absolutely.
We played ball in the alley, the horseshoes in the alley, but
well, do you remember?
Do you think the trolley is going to be a non-issue? Who cares?
I think it's a bunch of silliness, to be honest with you. I just don't understand it. I'm down the lake fishing quite a bit because I'm retired. I watch that thing go by and by and by. That poor driver. They must have to put a shock underneath the seat every once in a while.
When do you fish? Early in the morning?
I'm fortunate. I go morning and afternoon. I'm down there a lot. I enjoy the lakefront, but I'm in that area. But really, they got to be jolting that guy to keep him awake once in a while.
Well, it's you got to look out for me then because I take my early morning motorcycle rides down by the lake.
I can tell on that pretty teal motorcycle.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to say you can't miss him. I'm guessing.
You still wear the pink scarf?
Well, next time you see me, flip me off, and I'll stop by and have a cup of coffee with you.
Sure, you bet. Have a good day, man.
All right, thanks, Bruce. Let me read this. 2 sponsors.
I may be a little late, but you don't have to meet me there. I'll make sure to pick you up.
When you say late, you mean you'll be there Friday?
I'll be there Friday. I'll be there Thursday night. And then you know where I'm going Saturday night? Get a load of this. It's all about orchestra these days with me. I got Orchestra Fest tonight. Mm-hmm. Thursday night I'm going to the fundraiser. And on Saturday night, I'm going out. Father Bill, Catholic priest at Holy Rosary, plays in an orchestra in Lake Geneva. And 4 of us are going out to have dinner and to listen to his concert at the, I think it's Badger High School out there in Lake Geneva. Is that where it is?
You're just a social butterfly.
No, you know what? It's way too much for 1 week for me. Seriously, I can do about one thing a week these days.
You want to hear what I'm doing?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Please share with me what you're doing.
Well, I'm going to Pete and I are filming the Southport Beach House for $39.95. But at Monday, in fact, tomorrow I'm going to watch a little March Madness at the Boathouse. And on Tuesday, then the 4 o'clock conference. And then Wednesday, the 4 o'clock conference. And then, it kind of finishes up the week. So, I mean, I'm in conference. See, I'm working.
Why don't you break down and flip for $100 and join us at the House of Gerhard on Thursday night?
Oh, Thursday. What time does that start?
Well, I just read the commercial twice.
I'm hanging
it's
on
right
everyone.
in front of you. Cocktails at 5 o'clock, but be careful. It's a cash bar.
Yeah.
And then dinner at 6:30.
Well, that gets a little late. 6:30, I'm usually kind of tired. I'm kind of sleepy.
Steve? Is this Steve Casey? Yes, Scott, it's Steve. I just wanted to let you know I'd be there tomorrow. You're going to be where tomorrow? What is you talking about? I'll be on the show tomorrow with you, Scott. 6:30 last night, I call him.
That's not true.
Yeah,
that's not true. You're just making it all up.
Okay.
It was.
You know what? Everybody's got a recorder on their phone, don't they?
I don't know. I'm sure I do. I don't know how to use it though.
Scott's is controlled by several aldermen, though.
Yeah, that's right.
The recorder.
Well, I never told you about this. One day I'll share this.
It's not going to be today.
Can you record a conversation without knowing that it's being recorded?
In this state, I think in Wisconsin.
I think one person in the conversation has to be
the
aware
guy
it's
with
being
the
recorded.
guy with the tape recorder.
Right, exactly. It couldn't be a third party recording you.
I needed to record a conversation between myself and another alderman at one point, and this was about 5 or 6 years ago. And I still have that recording. And one of these days.
Are we going to get in trouble?
Me? Probably not.
What am I? I don't care about you, but me.
The other half of the conversation could get in a lot of trouble.
The license is in my name,
This license for
the
what?
contracts for us to come here under my name. I'm the one that signed it.
I don't really care. I got a badge.
Yeah,
don't you realize I'm a formerly federally elected alderman?
Scott, and Steve, I hate to tell you, I actually have that track.
Of the what?
I have the other alderman talking. Goes on like this for hour after hour.
Jeez, that could be just about any one of those characters.
All right, cut it off.
Speaking of Orchestra Fest,
was that Alderman's comments that you got that from? Let me read the boat.
That was some citizens' comments too.
Boathouse, but you know where I'm going over this weekend?
Can we talk about Orchestra Fest? I try to be as supportive as I can about this whole thing.
I'm going to the National Quilt Day down at the museum.
Well, now don't. Careful there. Awesome. Careful there. My mother-in-law is the president of Southport Quilters.
That's all I said was I'm going.
Well, you were going to turn this into a bit, and that was going to offend
He
me.
was going to turn it dirty somehow.
There's nothing here.
Something about wearing a quilt or quilting it or something.
My mother is a quilter. I've got more quilts around my house. It's Southport Quilters.
That's
she
right.
was president.
I assume some of these belong to you.
You know what? I can tell which one is hers right now. I'll even tell you that.
Jeez, I'm a serious journalist, and you're...
Hold it up to the microphone so everybody can see it when you pick it out.
This one is hers right there in the picture.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you were going to.
You want to get it on camera so at least the people at home can know, or who cares?
You accuse me of all of this nonsense, and here I'm trying to be serious. And
well, is this weekend?
Oh, jeez.
No, I thought it was.
I thought you were a news junkie.
Look at that.
Yes, that's where I got it out of. I got it out of the.
Quality radio going on here.
What do you think? You said you were a news junkie. You don't even know. By the way, Dick Nixon's not president anymore, so I hate to break that to you.
It's National Quilt Day today?
Yes. National Quilt Day on Saturday.
Now, you were going to rush down there, and you were going to turn this into a bit.
No, I was going to go down there.
You know they don't serve alcohol down there. They don't serve alcohol?
Then I won't be staying long.
Let's bring your own.
Yeah.
No, my mother-in-law's was president of Southport Quilters for years and does just wonderful quilts. She made me this. I always had this issue with normal-sized quilts because when I sat...
and you're accusing me of bringing this into a bit? Come on.
I would sit in my chair or lay on the couch, and the quilts never covered my feet. So she made me an extra long Santa quilt.
In the cute little pink booties.
No, Santa quilt. All different Santa Clauses on it because I used to play Santa Claus for many years.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, folks. This is Kurt Wickland, Alderman of the 8th District, and Shirley's Alderman. How you guys doing?
Kurt, now
a disclaimer right off the bat.
I have a quilt that might cover you.
Okay.
It's a Santa Claus quilt.
Oh, quilt. I thought you said quote.
No, quilt.
What's up within your world?
Well, Paul called and he made a pretty good comment about priorities and stories that citizens hear about, and he said our priority should be keeping the police department up and roads, and quite frankly, that is the top priority of. I think you talk to just about any alderman or the mayor or the city administrator. That's what you're going to hear. But the stories get the media covers other stories, the ones that have a little more sex appeal, what have you, the trolley. And
listen, potholes are very sexy.
Yeah,
you would know.
Yeah, we can't use sex on there. Sex sells, but not on this show.
Kurt, my son Thomas, Thomas,
sure.
hit a chunk of cement down there by Tremper on that side street that is by the soccer fields. Did $700 damage to his car.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So who do we send the bill to?
Well, we're going to send it to who's Rosenberg will pay it. That's his district down there.
Yeah, I would heartily encourage you to send the bill to Keith, not me.
Now, Kurt, when is your next breakfast meeting?
That'll be a week from today, actually.
Okay.
That's where we go into the pothole level of discussion, and it's really been pretty good. I had about 16 people last time, and half of them were new attendees, first timers. So it's
well, who did you have? You had a guest speaker, didn't you, a couple weeks ago?
I did. I was city administrator, Mr. Frank Bassetti,
okay.
And he was put to the task by quite a few questioners, and had a really good meeting. I know it was one of the best we've had so far, and this next one will be the 12th.
You probably don't want to use me as a guest speaker, do you?
Absolutely.
You've given up all hope of winning another election?
Now, Kurt, the question, and we're going to put this out to the callers as well. Now, I notice in the winter months you haven't been wearing that white suit. And
yeah.
When can you fashionably wear that white suit again? What time of year? Is it Memorial Day?
Consult with your partner there, because apparently he keeps the calendar. And
well, we'll let you wear it on Easter.
Easter, okay.
Yeah, we'll let you. It's a white three-piece suit. Wear a nice purple.
Do I have to wear a certain head accessory in the way of long ears with this, or
an Easter bonnet, a pink Easter bonnet with it.
Yeah.
And a big sign that says, "I'm an alderman of the."
Exactly.
Carry a little basket of eggs. Okay.
Yeah. You're a federally elected alderman. You got to expect to act and dress like one.
Now, Kurt, I got to tell you, you and I went out to breakfast the other day, and I did that purposely. I wanted to take you out for breakfast, and you're kind of like the John Steinbrink of the city council. I always like to be seen with John Steinbrink because then I feel small. So sitting across from Kurt Wickland at breakfast made me feel small.
How come you never take me out for breakfast?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Well, you guys should. I know maybe the fillets have been overdone, but I think a good discussion of the breakfast options here in town would be a good topic for your show there.
Kurt,
what's your
I'm
favorite
sorry.
breakfast sausage? Light them up. Sorry.
Exactly. Fire
Patties or links?
Patties or links? Light them up. Yeah, all right.
We are not allowed to talk about the 4-ounce fillet or the shrimp anymore, so please don't bring that up anymore.
I'm sorry.
No.
Just wait till the 4-ounce ham for Easter.
Did you hear this? We'll play it. You got it, Pete?
What am I playing here?
We had a disgruntled caller last week.
Oh yeah,
and
Steve had a good point.
Well, he got me in well, he was talking about your discussion.
Yeah, he had a good point.
Here it is.
With the 6-ounce lobster tail and 4-ounce fillet, I just got so tired of hearing about a fillet and a lobster, I turned you guys off. I like to listen to your show to hear about the political atmosphere in Kenosha with a few laughs along the way, but I think you guys go overboard. I'll leave you and do what you want to do.
Hey, Kurt, do you want to rethink this thing about the links in the breakfast?
Well, then I'll return back to the budget. We got $5 million for road repair this year, and you're gonna see approximately a dozen different avenues and streets getting repaired this year, and that's not including the state contribution where they're going to come in 50. Route 50 is going to get more work, and I believe it's 158. Yeah, 158 is going to get some work. I believe starting this year. It might just be the engineering, but the mayor definitely learned, and this entire the 2015 budget, the one thing that was most significant in shaping where the funding went was finding as many dollars we could possibly put into roads.
Okay, what did you guys spend in 2014?
About $3 million and we're going up to $5 million this year.
So you upped that $2 million.
Right, and that's out of a total capital expenditure of about $11 million. So we're about 50% of our entire capital expenditure for the year is going to roads.
Now, can you do me a favor when the city undertakes all this road construction? Can you do it all at the same time so nobody can get anywhere?
I imagine you could.
I want every major thoroughfare blocked off and have detours.
Yeah, and don't take it down 7th Avenue because we're going to be relocating the Southport Beach House, our foam that Pete brought in for $39.95. Just save you guys a bunch of money, I might add.
Yeah,
that's not working out real well.
All right, well, let us reinforce that road before you trundle that building down it.
Not a whole lot of improvements being done to Southport Park or Lincoln Park lately, but a whole lot of improvements over to Anderson Park.
Well, Lincoln Park is going to get a Frisbee golf course this year. That's going in. It's a low cost improvement, but it is going to Lincoln, and I'm happy to see that. In fact, I expect the Parks Department to notify me shortly about going out and laying out the land and maybe doing some test throws. So
Lincoln Park isn't your district, is it?
It's just across the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I am on the Parks Commission, so
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And,
Do you have a
so I got
Frisbee?
a little advance word on that. But anyone that likes Frisbee golf, get in touch with me.
Do you have a Frisbee golf commission that you're signing people up for?
I was willing to do so. I majored in Frisbee in college. So.
We need 4 citizens on there for sure, no matter what. Just so you know.
Absolutely.
You know, we've already dedicated, or we're going to dedicate, according to Rosenberg, pretty quick here, the Kenosha Today fire hydrant over at the dog park. So this is just a hop, skip, and a jump for us.
Yeah.
So
the dogs.
Any plans for any other dog parks in the city, Kurt?
Personally, yeah, I think we need about at least 3 in the long run.
Really?
Yeah, because the idea of a dog park is that you exercise your dog. You should be able to, in my opinion, with our leash laws that says your dog's got to be on a leash unless he's in your yard. The dogs need to be a healthy, well-exercised, good citizen dog. They need exercise, and you should be able to walk your dog somewhere where you can walk your dog. I don't think it should be required that you have to drive 20 minutes to exercise your dog. These facilities cost very little money in the scope of the city budget, about $20,000, put up some fencing, and they're wildly popular. This Anderson Park Dog Park has been a spectacular success in terms of usage.
Well, and I know
that's what parks are for. It's no dog's going to drive themselves there. People are using those dog parks too, bringing their dogs. And that's making people enjoy the parks. That's
and I think it's Kurt. I think it's used as a social thing as well. I think that the dog owners enjoy going there. Now, I've had a dog our entire life, and we don't go to the dog park. My wife walks the dog, and we have a nice backyard where the dogs run around in the back, and But
yeah. You have a fairly large yard, but the dogs like to socialize too, and then the people socialize. You start meeting people. I met so many people walking my dogs that I ended up running for alderman. So
is that how it starts?
You never know where it's going to result.
All right. Keep us informed. Thanks for the call, Kurt.
All right, you guys have a good show, and let's enjoy this nice weather that's coming up. Bye bye.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy. Yeah.
He brought up a good point about walking dogs with a leash, and it's
I
probably
thought we were going to a commercial break.
No, it was his song.
That was his song. Gotcha. Okay. I was going to
It's your first week
I was
here,
going
right?
to
Is
get a
that what
cup
it
of
is?
coffee.
Just parachute in here.
Holy cow!
This gal I'm dating. This is why she got me a new leash to take when she takes me out.
Careful.
Shock collar. Yeah.
She could be listening.
Well, she bought me a new collar and a leash, so I'm thinking this is what this is all about.
You'd be surprised how many people listen to this.
Oh crap!
I mean, there's got to be at least 10 people listening,
and we know who you are. Let me read it. Okay. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning.
Who's this?
Oh, here we go.
This is Pickleball Jones.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, way to go, Big Pickle.
I got a Pickleball Jones. Okay.
All right. I want to congratulate you.
Can I ask?
Thank you.
What the hell is pickleball?
What? You want to congratulate me for leaving the boathouse before you did?
When does that happen?
Never. Always. I don't go there that frequently, but why is it every time I come in there, you're there? Do you get your mail there or what?
I
Takes a shower.
I operate a panel truck in the parking lot.
All the process servers know that's where they can find them. Now, I got a quick question for you.
Describe this pickleball.
Yeah, what is pickleball?
Is it about walking your dog?
No, we don't want
restaurant?
to go there. Just tell us about pickleball.
Oh, okay.
What is pickleball?
Well, as Scott referred, maybe Paul told you, it's a cross between tennis, ping pong, and badminton.
Okay, what kind of
Do you play it on a table?
No. It's roughly one half the size of a tennis court with a net that is just a little bit lower than the regulation tennis net, maybe an inch and a half or something like that.
What are you hitting back and forth?
It is a pickleball is a. You're all familiar with a wiffle ball, right?
Yes.
Remember the old wiffle balls with all the holes in them?
Yeah.
The hard plastic.
Okay.
That's a pickleball.
Well, where are there pickleball courts?
Well, I play in Racine probably about 5 days a week, every morning. Racine has a great senior program up there.
Senior,
I don't want to cast.
You brought that up. I didn't.
I don't want to cast any aspersions on Kenosha, but you could draw the inference that I think that Racine does a lot more for the seniors than Kenosha does in that regard.
Are you on scholarship, or are you just take this up? Were you a draft choice, or what?
Well, oddly enough, I play softball up in Racine with seniors. There's no senior softball program here in Kenosha either, but I guess there's just more interest. Anyway, a lot of these guys play pickleball. They winter in Florida and Arizona, and it's huge out west at retirement communities and stuff.
Where in Racine is there a pickleball court? At the senior center, or where do you play at?
Yeah, they have several different outlets with gymnasiums, and on Douglas, next to Racine Park, there's another location.
Are they enclosed like a racquetball court?
You can you just set it up in a gym.
I see.
It's 44 feet long, 20 feet wide.
Wow.
So
you have to wear a helmet?
John,
do you wear a helmet?
No, you don't wear a helmet.
You wear a protective cup?
They tape off the courts. The nets are portable. The stands, steel stands and everything, they fit together, and it takes about 5 minutes to set one up. I've been trying for the last year to get Kenosha to do something. I found it kind of interesting about the things that Mr. Wicklund was saying that they were doing for recreation in the parks that were low cost. Well, you don't get much more low cost than this. A net system costs about $130, and then the only thing else that you have to do is paint the lines. Usually on existing tennis courts, but they use different colored lines, so you can still use them for tennis. So,
do you use a racket, or what do you use?
You just said, yeah.
Yeah, racket.
You use a paddle. It's a hard paddle, a little bit smaller than a racquetball paddle.
John, I got to let you go because we got to get to a break here. But is John Tracy your personal trainer?
Oh boy.
Take that as a no.
I don't think I don't. In what aspect? I don't know. Maybe in imbibing he is, but other than that.
All right, I got to let you go. Congratulations,
okay, have a good
There's
time,
a whole
boys.
lot of alcohol that surrounds the show. You know that?
We'll see ya.
Let's take one more call, then we got to take a break. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hello,
Hello, who's this?
it's Wally from down in Tobin.
Okay, Wally from down in Tobin. Go
You
ahead.
guys talking about pickleball?
Yeah.
They do that every day of the week down at the Kenosha Y.
At the Kenosha YMCA?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Hey, if I'm lying, I'm
Okay.
gonna go see. If I'm gonna go flying, I'm gonna see Steve.
Well, see, we learned a new thing today.
I did, to be honest with you, and I play racquetball. I was a racquetball player years ago. I love racquetball. I'd like to get back into it, but I need to lose a few more pounds. I never even heard of pickleball.
Well, with my arthritis, I can't do that. But I'm in the locker room every day with guys that they go do the pickleball.
I'll have to get out there.
I'll have to get out there and check that out. I have no idea. I've never even heard of pickleball.
Well,
obviously, he leads a very sheltered life.
That's none of my business either.
It doesn't. Yeah, I'm sure you don't know. You don't want to know. All right. Well, I got to let you go. I'm way behind here. Thanks for the information.
Not a problem.
Bruce, it.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute. It's pickleball, and my good friend John Schwartz and Todd Nelson won the senior division.
Never ever heard of pickleball.
Well, see, you can't consider yourself a serious journalist until you know all the facts.
Well, I guess it's a sport that seniors play, and of course, the seniors play a lot of horseshoes.
Yeah.
I love horseshoes. I love shuffleboard. I actually have played racquetball.
Shuffleboard. I'm going to go play shuffleboard, Pete.
How do you do at bocce ball?
Yes.
I've played that in the past.
You played that in the past.
Yeah.
That's right, you're Irish. Not
I'm going to play shuffleboard this afternoon, and later tonight I'm going to go to the Quilters Festival downtown.
See, you're going to turn this into a bit, aren't you? Your mother-in-law's not going to be happy.
Well, my mother, get down to the museum. You really would be impressed with all the quilts down there. And of course, tonight is Orchestra Fest. It's at Indian Trails Academy out there. I'll be at Orchestra Fest for as long as I can tolerate it. I didn't really say that out loud, did I?
Hey, we are, we're going to form, we talked after John Schwartz called in, and, I think, look at these nice medals. I wonder if they have to give them back. But this could be us, our picture in the paper, winning a pickleball championship.
We could be the Dill Pickle team.
That's us. The Kenosha today? No, not the
Dill
Long
Pickle
Islanders.
team. I'm going to have to look into that. I didn't realize that they played at the YMCA.
America's still getting over you two having your picture in the paper together for cutest couple. I'm not sure we can handle that. Again.
We got jobbed on that deal. I think our message just didn't. I think there was some.
I got to tell you, I wish I could find someone to play racquetball with on a regular basis.
I don't know how to play. Otherwise, I'd volunteer.
Yeah. You actually have to move around.
Oh, I move around
more
just
than
fine
once.
on a racquetball court.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's no problems there.
It's like slow dancing. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yeah, Dale from Kenosha.
Yeah, Dale. How's the old pin?
It's doing. It's slow but sure.
Hey, have you ever heard of pickleball?
No, but I'm wondering where's the pickle park that you have to play the pickleball
Well,
in?
I'm thinking of the Whitecaps neighborhood, Dale. I'm thinking of the Whitecaps neighborhood because we do such a fine job of snow removal out there. I would think that we could have on some of those cul-de-sacs painted pickleball courts.
I like that idea.
You like that idea? Now we're gonna need a pickleball court supervisor, and because you spend so much time in Whitecaps, would you be the pickleball court supervisor for the Parks Department?
I can give it a try. I mean, I'd have to study up on the game to see what it all entails.
Listen, any kind of help that you can bring us. Listen. That's my new cause: pickleball courts in Whitecaps.
All right.
Don't they have enough sour pickles out there?
Pete from Beyond the Arc.
From way downtown.
My God.
Nothing but net.
I'm redoing my brackets now.
Okay, well that's where we'll make the pickle park then.
Yeah, you still
the pickle park.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring Dale, the pickleball court supervisor.
And if you need us to write a note so you can get out of the house,
would you be?
Oh yeah, I'll need a permission slip.
Yeah, would you be willing to be on the pickleball court selection committee?
Yes.
You know what, Dale? I just can't help loving saying the word pickleball court.
You can tell your wife that this is serious business. You're going to come and be a pickleball supervisor. This has nothing to do with our training you to be a Secret Service agent. That's a completely different course.
Now you know a little bit about transport. Do you think you could ever apply? You and I apply to be Secret Service people?
I don't know.
Can you talk into your sleeve discreetly?
Wear sunglasses with an earplug.
I can handle the drinking part of it. Can you handle the driving part of it?
I could do the driving part of it.
Hey, I got this as long as you're here, and you did such a great job this winter at the 17th District. This was an article.
Well, thank you for that compliment.
You did. We just tried to give accolades, like Mr. Schwartz. We gave him.
And now he's got his next thing is going to be the pickleball court.
But this happened in Southampton, Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania township are investigating a hockey stick attack on a public works truck, apparently by someone upset that their street wasn't getting enough road salt and it wasn't plowed quick enough.
Too many potholes.
Were you ever accosted with a hockey stick?
No, never.
Okay.
And what street in Whitecaps did this happen on?
This was in
Allegedly?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Allegedly.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
All right, Dale.
All right, Dale.
All right.
Get well.
Say hi to the
Have a
missus.
great weekend.
Say hi to the missus. Or goodbye to the missus, however it works out. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, it's Anthony from.
All right. We are ready.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that
Now, this
bass,
doesn't get
about
old.
that bass,
This
no
never gets
trouble.
old.
I'm all about that bass, about that
Hey, we're looking for a sub for our dill pickle team.
Yeah.
Willing to participate?
I actually have three things I'd like to talk about. One of them are pickleball.
Okay, go ahead.
You already heard it. The YMCA does it.
Yeah.
Tuesdays from 7 to 9, it's a pickleball promotion league or pickleball promotion time. So you can go out there and play for $1.
Where, at the YMCA?
Yep. How are you? Tuesdays from 5 to 7.
5 to 7 at the
Or
YMCA.
from 7 to 9. Sorry, 7 to 9. 7 to 9.
5 to
The
7
reason
is
I
something
know
else.
that- The reason I know that is I'm out there playing volleyball, and their pickleball runs into our volleyball court.
Oh,
and our
you know what?
volleyball runs into their pickleball
You know
court.
what? You're probably in that special league. I was in that league once, Anthony, the
You know-
volleyball court league. Hang on a minute.
You
Where
should bring the camera around for this, Ron. All these.
where
This
you're
is too good to be missed.
You're only allowed to jump in volleyball if your waist size matches your age. So you would be right there.
I love volleyball. It's actually my favorite sport to play now.
How old are you, Anthony?
Ooh, that's not.
I'm a man of a certain age.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
What's your second?
If your age matches your waist size, you got to be 56.
The second thing I wanted to
Thank
say.
you for moving this along. I appreciate it.
Where do we play racquetball at in Kenosha now?
The
Dr.
Recplex.
Steve?
The Recplex.
That's not in Kenosha now, is it?
No, but that's the only place that has racquetball courts. That's where I go. I'd love to play you in racquetball.
I enjoy racquetball.
Do you
I
really?
haven't played in a few years, but I like racquetball. I was playing it in the Army. We were playing a lot of. That's actually I learned to play in the Army.
Well, seriously, Anthony.
I actually have a mutual friend of ours whose name I won't mention on the air who also plays racquetball.
You'll appreciate
Well, you know
that.
what? We could play a round robin out there. You know, the three of us. It's a way to play racquetball. It's a great social thing. I'll make you a deal. You come to the Recplex to play racquetball with me, and I'll go to the YMCA and watch you play volleyball, and then we'll play pickleball.
And the loser buys a cheese sandwich, ham and cheese sandwich.
No, chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
Chicken
I'm sorry.
sandwich.
Now, the third thing I'd like to talk about is
Okay.
Pete Sargent is a SOB.
Pete Sargent?
All right. Thanks, Anthony, for calling in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You know I'm
See you
all
later.
about that bass, about that bass, no
Maybe
trouble.
not Pete Sargent, but the news production staff at WLIP.
What? What
Yeah,
about the news
I call it a
production
lip
staff?
off. Next thing I know, it's the freaking filler on the news section.
Now,
for
wait
the
a
rest
minute. Now,
of the
use
day.
filler is such a derogatory term.
No, seriously, Anthony, I wanted to bring up something. Did you and I ever talk about this when we were on the council together? Because that was an idea I had years ago, and I believe I was told that the management or either the ownership or you couldn't put a business in the beach house because the DNR said it was on lake bed. Did you pursue that at all, or are you just shooting off the top of your head?
I was shooting off the top of my head.
Okay, so you may want to look into that because I did bring that up.
You know, this show is being recorded, so if you think you were a filler last week, wait till we...
Oh, wait till you see what's going to be on Monday's news now, yeah.
We're hanging on your every word here.
Local Kenosha radio host was called an SOB by a certain Kenosha alderman. Anthony Kennedy told... Yeah, oh, yeah.
Don't hold
Oh,
back
yeah.
and don't sugarcoat it.
I call in to lip off just to lip off as a Kenosha citizen, trying to help out that show, so it's not just a show about.
I got to
nothing.
tell you,
And next thing I know,
He was so... Listen, it was poignant. It was so spot on for what Kenosha needs to hear.
See, Anthony, when you call in, you should technically identify your comments as being an alderman or as a citizen. You call us, we don't care.
Then I'll identify him as local citizen on the news story.
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
yeah.
Well, I would like to prefer to...
It's like when the people fill in for the mayor, I'll be voting as an alderman today.
What do you mean filling in for the mayor?
Well, that's what you have to say when the council president fills in. He says, "I'll be voting as an alderman today."
Oh, it's a loophole.
Yeah, come on, get with the program.
I don't know. You didn't even know what pickleball is, so what are you talking about? Get with the program.
Are you in is the volleyball league a senior league, Anthony?
No, it's open volleyball on Tuesdays from 7 to 9.
You have to try out, or is there a combine?
No,
or
open. It's open. It's a
So you
pickup
just
game.
form it's a pickup game?
Yep.
No kidding.
Well, do you guys? We want to have uniforms and jerseys and sweatpants.
Well, listen, the last thing we need is uniforms.
For Scott Barter Enterprises to sponsor my volleyball team during one of the summer leagues.
The Scott Barter Enterprises funds are a little bit low. I've had kind of a slow winter. Very fulfilling, but slow.
And it has
I'll
an anchor of a radio show to keep afloat too. So
I'll sponsor your team if we can call your team the Chicken Thieves.
No, see, you always run stuff into the ground, Steve. That's why that caller called in last week. They want to hear insightful stuff about politics, not this comedic old rehash stuff.
When you said he always wants to stuff it in the ground, that's probably a occupational hazard, right, Steve?
All right. Well, then here's a serious question: what are the two top issues facing aldermen for re-election next year?
Well,
no opposition
I
would
think
be
it all
one.
depends on who's going to run for mayor. I think our former mayor Bellotti is going to try to keep that trolley issue as a waste of spending, and then you're going to get people. You're going to try to make people talk about waste of spending, lost opportunities. But you know what? If I'm running for alderman next year, I'm going to say, hey, we've kept this city running. We've made investments in our public safety. We've made investments in infrastructure. We've made investments in economic development. And if you look at some of the cities in this country, we did really, really well through one of the darkest times, hardest times in our economic history. And Kenosha did pretty good. And we can talk about roads. And I want to know how fast your son was going when he hit that pothole.
Yeah.
To cause $700 worth of damage.
Well,
brother.
actually, he
I was
bent.
just and that was actually the start of my lip off. At when I called the other day, was I drive a lot. I drive 150,000 miles a year plus in my cab.
Well, you certainly don't. You certainly don't do
any front end work because of potholes.
Well, you certainly don't do much walking.
Hey, Anthony.
Fat joke.
Hey, Anthony, listen, I want to give you a lot of credit. Some of your colleagues have wanted to call in and call me worse, and they won't do it. So, thanks for having the courage, my friend.
Anthony, I got to run. I got another caller.
Well, I pulled that back. It wasn't Pete Sargent. It was a news production.
All right, well,
maybe the same people, but that's
feel the love. Here, Pete. Send him off with the love.
Oh, with the love?
Because you know I'm all
There's the
about
love.
that bass,
There's the
about
love.
that bass, no trouble.
All right, let's go to the next caller.
I'm all about that bass,
Oh,
about that bass,
do
no
one thing at a
trouble.
time over here.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha today.
Changed over here.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
This is Name Your Alderman song time, I guess.
Hey, are you going to send me a check, or are you going to pay with credit card for the $700 damage done to my son's car?
Well, you can file a claim with our city clerk, Deb Sellis.
Well, actually, it was I believe, because I went and looked at it, it was a piece of curb that had obviously been jarred loose from a plow, and somebody had kicked it in the street, and he hit it. He went around it, but he hit it with the back tire, and it actually bent his frame and threw off the alignment of the car and then flattened his tire. It was, seriously, it was right over there by the soccer fields.
Yep. In fact, I just had that area cleaned up 2 days ago by our street department. That was 89th Street.
Yes.
It looked like a war zone because that road is totally deteriorating over there.
Absolutely.
Well, you're 2 days too late.
You're 2 days too late. It's going to cost the city $700.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you can file a claim with our city clerk.
Okay.
Well, I don't think they've ever paid a claim for this, have they?
That's in closed session, so he can't tell you.
Yeah. He's already told us too much. If he tells us any more, he'll have to kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people would want to do that.
Yeah.
So what's going on in your world?
Oh, well, everything's quite. Just been working a lot of hours over at Case. Unfortunately, we just had 99 people laid off as of yesterday.
Hey, Wickland's thinking of bringing his white three-piece suit out on. We gave him permission on Easter, so don't let him take all the accolades. You guys better, raise the bar a little bit and come forward with something snappy.
Oh, yeah, I can see what I can find in the closet,
Well, I got to tell you, Keith, I still say you ought to introduce a resolution to move the beach house to Anderson Park. You take all the other development they don't want.
No, well, I'm going to have to pass on that one. Like I said, we do have, hopefully with this upcoming referendum, we will have more improvements at Anderson football field because those bleachers are original when the football stadium opened. I was in high school back then. 1976, I believe, is the year that Anderson Field opened.
and the bleachers are original, and they're very unsafe. and
I
unstable.
spent a lot of time underneath those bleachers.
Oh yeah,
It's water boy.
yeah.
You're water boy going up and down the side. Like, here's your towel.
That's where we kept our cooler back in high school, underneath the
Lots of cold
underneath the
duck in there, I
bleachers.
understand.
A lot of cold, yeah, being out of plastic cups.
Yeah, amongst other things.
Yes. Okay, Keith. Anything else?
Oh no, I just wanted to check in with you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, and and like I said, I know you talked about key issues coming up for aldermanic election. The number one concern I hear is roads, and we will have 85th Street this year fixed from 30th Avenue to 22nd Avenue, but that's not the only one that needs to be done. I just talked about 89th Street. That's needs to be done, and hopefully that'll get done next year, if possible, this year.
And don't forget the dedication for our Kenosha Today fire hydrant out there.
Oh,
at the
of
dog
course.
park.
You let me know the date and time you're available, and I